Welcome to Stop, Drop, and Roll, where a group of friends get together every week and play Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Gary. I'll be the DM for this evening, and let's go around the table and introduce each other. Eeks, let's start with you.
Hey guys, I'm Eeks, or I'm Justin, but I play Eeks. He's a goblin rogue assassin with an evil dagger. Next up is Stole.
Hi guys, I'm Stole Lone Runner. I play Patrick, the 18-year-old dork, and next up we have Scott.
Hello, everybody. I'm Scott. I play Flanardius Flubstep, half-elf bard. Next up, Rin.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I play Rin Leaflet, and I'm a Wood Elf Ranger. And then we have the wonderful Stephanie.
Hey, I'm Stephanie. I play Lika, a Moon Elf Wizard.
All right, so let's get into this, everybody. We left off, Eeks, you had just sliced Stole across the knee and took off running to hide. And the group, after a while, tracked you down. It was dead of evening, and you just kind of told everybody about your dagger and what's going on.
Okay. Correction. First off, they didn't track me down.
No,
I
yes.
revealed myself.
You revealed yourself. Yes,
Nobody
you did. I'm
tracks
sorry.
us down.
Yes, I'm sorry. I misspoke. The master assassin thief cannot be seen. But yes, you kind of dropped down. You told everybody what was going on, and you guys are starting to deal with that when suddenly Arian de Cantrell, the drow house captain that you had met earlier, appeared with three other drow in tow and told you that his mother, the Matron Nwala, has grown sick with the flu, or with the plague, the flu.
The flu.
And,
Oh no!
She got a bad cough due to cold. And,
I mean, granted, it'd probably still be lethal because I don't know their advancements in medicine or anything, but
this is true. She didn't get her flu shot. So he had just dropped down and he made the announcement that the matron was sick and he needed you to come. And so that's where we're going to kick off. You guys are now standing in the clearing area where Eeks has chosen to reveal himself, and he drops down. He looks at you, especially Lika, and he says, "It's the matron mother. She's taken ill. I need you to come with us."
Lead the way.
The rest of you going along as well?
Yeah, you heard him. Let's go.
All right. So they begin working their way through the town. They don't even bother going over the wall like the way they came in. As the city guards see them approach, they kind of spread out, allowing them to pass. And so you and this group travel out of the town, up the north road into the village, where you guys still see the corpses laying around of the followers of Kellamvor that he had slain earlier in the day. And or actually it was the night before, I believe. And you guys head into the cavern. You take the tunnel down, and you're amazed at how well the drow are able to find. It's almost like they had footholds already set in place as they work their way down the tunnel, making it a lot easier for you guys. But I still need each of you to make an acrobatics check.
Can I do athletics again?
You want to do your...
Oh yeah, I want to do the zipper, baby.
All right, do the zipper.
Can't we just go down the stairs?
This is the most direct route for them. It's the way they're used to going. Stole, you just run, jump, dig into the side, and you drag your way down. Eeks and Flanardius, you're kind of following the drow, keeping an eye on where their footholds are. Lika and Ren, you struggle a little bit, but you make it down to the bottom. You guys get into the tunnel and you start heading deeper in. And he kind of falls back, letting the three soldiers that are with him kind of go ahead and lead the way. And as you start working your way down into the tunnels and it starts getting a little darker, I believe all of you, except for Stole, have dark vision, correct?
Yes.
I do.
That I know of. I know I don't have dark vision.
It starts getting very dark to you, Stole. It's almost black, and then you see this light ahead. It's like a blue glow. But you're going to have to hold someone's hand to get through here. Whose hand are you going to hold?
Come here, Eeks. I can't see.
Really? I cut you, but okay.
Come here, Eeks. I can't see.
So Eeks kind of leads you on through the area until you start getting into some of the deeper tunnels. They begin to open up a little bit. You can see now, rather than having natural cave sides, these look more constructed. They're a little wider, and there are blue stones kind of set in place on the walls that are giving off enough light that you can actually see pretty well now. And they lead you deeper into the tunnels. There's this large cavernous area where there's a tunnel off to the right side of the cavern, and then there's just this chasm that goes deep down into the ground to your left. It's like if you take a wrong step, you're gonna drop. So you kind of have to stick to the side. And the Drow warriors, they know their way through here. They're not even concerned with it as they travel through. But Arian kind of sits back a little bit, and he starts talking to you, Lika. The rest of you are close enough you can hear it. But he says, the reports came to me just the hour ago. Mother's taken ill. We're a day's journey away from the city, but do you think you'll be able to help her?
I really don't know. I mean, I can look and I can see, but I don't know what I can do. I'm not a healer.
Well, we must move quickly because put them out. I'm sorry, guys. Put him outside. All right. We must move quickly. There's rumors that House Valtros intends to strike against us soon. The matron in a weakened state. Their attacks may be successful.
Who is next in line to your mother?
My sister, Zendra. She is a high priestess of Loth. Or at least that's what we tell people. She's very powerful.
Will she be prepared to start taking over if a fight breaks out to show the leadership is still strong?
The matron has been grooming her for some time. And of course, me and our forces, we will stand ready to defend the house. Are your friends strong?
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
They appear to be. Will we be able to depend on them?
I don't speak for them.
He kind of looks over his shoulder at the rest of you.
He's standing there picking his nose.
It better not be the hand I'm holding.
Oh, you guys are still holding hands?
I can't see, can I?
I'm picking
Yeah,
it with Stoll's finger.
I told you there's enough light in this area now. There's like these stones are set far enough apart that there's pretty good light. To the Drow, it's almost like walking around in daylight. For you guys, it's those of you with dark vision, it's not as bad. But for you, Stoll, it's like being in a dimly lit room that has a lot of blue light.
Semen stains everywhere.
Not a black light, a blue light. Oh, eeks. So you guys travel a little bit further, and the Drow that are with him, they keep ahead, and they kind of keep to themselves. They watch you, they're leery of you, but they're not aggressive or anything like that. They just seem to be very protective of their lord as they're traveling through this area. And you guys travel for about another 3 or 4 hours this way, and you come to this open cavern, and he looks at you guys and he's like, we shall stop here. We will press on in the morning. It's only another 12 hours or so before we get there.
Only another 12 hours.
What? That's so long. You should have brought snacks.
Oh, and he reaches into his bag and he produces some dried meats, nuts, berries, that sort of thing. They're not anything that you're familiar with because they grow down here, but he and his associates begin handing them out to everyone who wants some.
I grab
take
a
some.
piece and I go to Lika. Does this look safe to eat to you?
I kind of look at it and I'm like, I mean, I guess so. I've not really seen these before though.
And Arian hears the conversation and he walks over and he takes one out of your hand, Ren, and he puts it in his mouth. He eats it. It is safe.
So, does it taste like chicken? Or beef?
Is it the meat?
Yeah.
It's more like a dried fish.
Oh.
Flanarius will have some.
Yeah, Liga has some too.
I guess I'll shout down.
Yep.
I get to eat breakfast this morning.
And the others are starting to prepare. It's not a fire. You see them laying stones around, and they take these rocks and they stack them up, and they begin this kind of an incantation over the rocks, and then suddenly you see the rocks start to glow, kind of an orangish glow, and there's a nice warmth around the area that they're at, and it's pretty chilly. You guys are underground quite a ways, so it's a pretty much a constant 60 degrees at all times where you're at.
Can I analyze the 3 drow with my divine sense and see what they give me?
Mm-hmm. As you approach them, one of them looks at you and he kind of sizes you up and he goes, "You're from the mountains, aren't you?"
Long ago, yeah.
And as you're talking to him, you kind of take a nice, and they smell neutral. They don't really have a pleasant odor. They don't have a bad odor. Come, sit around the fire. Tell us about where you're from. What's it like up there?
I haven't been up there in years. Ever since the problems with my tribe, I've been moving by myself.
And
I
what
left-
problems? What is wrong with your tribe?
What was wrong with my tribe? A large debate occurred, and the two sides decided to pick up against each other. And my father cleaned up whoever was left over after the fight, and then left.
Father sounds like a strong man.
I guess. That's where my name Lone Runner came from. So that's who I am and why I am who I am. What about you guys?
We have served House de Cantrell our entire lives. Born to it. We showed proficiency in battle. We have trained to fight for our matron. It is our way. It's who we are. There is not a man here that would not die for Lord. They have shown us another way. We grew as drow, and our house used to serve Loth. We believed the same way that every drow believes. Conquer. Move up by assassination. These are not things that are strangers to us. The matron lost her daughter to an assassination. She was to be the next high priestess of Loth. She was murdered.
I'm sorry.
It made the matron question. First, I thought she'd gone insane. But I must say, things she has shown us changed our ways. No longer do we have to, and he looks at his friends, watch over our shoulders. Always looking for that knife in our backs. Rank is not something to be feared. It's something to strive for. We're hoping to be able to live up there, to the sky. We've heard that other drow live amongst your races. And we wish to do the same.
Well, this is a good start.
We're trying. And that this Aryan walks over and he says, but things are difficult. It's hard to move up there during the day. We've tried to figure out a way to be able to walk in the sun. To be, and he looks at you, Lika, day walkers, as you called us. And in doing so, we've unleashed a plague. My mother and my sisters, they used the dark magics to try and find a way. That seems to have backfired on us, and our house is now subject to a plague. And we are in a very weakened state.
I can probably fix that.
Do you think so? And how is that, friend giant?
With my paladin divination, I'm able to remove illness.
You can remove illness?
I can.
From
With the
how
touch of my
many?
hands.
From
How many? Let me think. I'd say probably 5 people a day.
Within
I can
a few
remove one
weeks?
illness.
Within just a few weeks, we should be able to heal everyone then. He looks at you, Leaky. Did you know he could do this?
I did not.
Your friends are very unique.
That they are. And I'm also going to pull out the little bottle of the sunscreen that we got from that guy. Like,
And as you pull it out, it kind of glistens in the light here. Like it almost has a glow to it. He reaches out tentatively with his hands, just kind of, may I?
yes, I actually brought this for you. It says that it protects skin from the sun. This might be something you could use to walk along in the daytime.
SPF 5000.
Illustre is definitely at work. My sisters were correct. We should sleep. We have much to do tomorrow. It's a long journey. And with that, he takes the bottle and he may I hold this?
Yes, I give it to him.
Stands up and he kind of goes off to the side, and the others begin the preparing like for the night. They're unrolling bedrolls and things like that, and he begins discussing with them who's going to take the first watch, and finally he decides he's going to take it. Does anybody in your party want to take the first watch?
I will.
Eeks, while everybody's sleeping, would like to sneak off.
Okay. Or you want to sneak off? Give me a stealth check against everybody's passive perception, including
Do I get to roll perception since I'm awake?
Yes.
Well, I was better off.
With your passive?
Yep.
Who is below an 18 on your passive perception?
Me.
So I'm pretty sure everybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
everybody is. So yeah, nobody sees you sneak off. Let me hold on. Let me check for Arion here. Yeah,
Liz
you.
has moved her bedroll also kind of away from everybody, but she's just kind of sitting there meditating.
Okay. Okay, so you sneak away, Eeks. You kind of work your way into a little side area. What are you doing?
I'm going to open my bag, think about the dagger, and then pull it out.
Okay. You pull it out. Can I get everyone to leave the room for a moment? At last.
So I didn't really play for everybody to leave the room, but okay.
It speaks to you and it says, "At last. I knew you could not leave me there forever."
Mask wants me to use you. I'd like to use you. I think you're a great benefit to this group. However, I will not feed you their memories.
But just your friend.
Anybody allied with me or them.
Agreed.
So if I'm talking with my friends or anybody that we're allied with, you're not going to creep in there and provoke me to cut them.
I will let your friends be. I will let your allies be. But you must feed me the memories of your enemy. I hunger.
I understand hunger.
I'm so hungry now.
Well, then hopefully we run into some people that I don't feel bad about killing.
I like that. Killing. Stealing. You are a true servant, Ask. As my.
Mass put you in my hands for one particular purpose.
You are the dagger of man.
Were you once a dagger?
I was.
Is this my fate? To be what you are now? Once this is all over?
Oh, little goblin. What is fate?
A finicky son bitch.
Agreed. You will feed me soon.
If we run into opposition, yes.
I believe you are the type to always run into opposition.
That's a fair assessment. But again, you will not taste the blood of me, my friends, or anyone that we are allied with.
Agree. But you must feed me.
I fully intend to use you.
I'm powerful, more than you know.
Is there something else that you do other than bring up traumatic experiences?
I can kill a god.
And that's the purpose and for which Mass gave you to me.
I cannot speak for Mass. I am but a humble servant.
What more do you know other than your purpose?
I have lived many times.
So, if I were to ask for help in a certain situation other than fighting, and you have knowledge of it, will you help me?
I am a servant.
I'd feel better if you said yes or no.
I will do what I can.
I can live with that.
Feed me soon.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not one to evade conflict. I'm sure you gathered that much of me when you were used against me.
I know everything there is to know about you. You were the unwanted. You were the outcast. But now you have me. I will always want you.
I'm just going to take the dagger, and I'm not going to put it back in the bag. I'm going to put it in the sheath on my belt.
And as you do, you hear one faint ah.
And then I'll walk back towards the camp and
stealth your way back in.
Yeah, I'll pop. He said Stoll's taking watch.
Yes.
I'll pop up next to him.
Okay. Everybody back in here. Boy, Patrick, you were just waiting, weren't you?
I sure was. As soon as I see the timing, I'm like, say the word.
All right, so you're taking the first watch. Everyone else is kind of putting their bags up and going to sleep. And as you settle in for your first watch, Eeks just kind of appears next to you, almost startling you.
Or was he there the whole time?
Yes.
Ooh.
How did you get there?
Very sneaky.
I've noticed. Is this the part where you stab me again?
No, that issue has been dealt with. It won't happen again. Again, I apologize about that.
Can I know what you did?
I talked with the dagger.
You talked with the dagger.
Yes. Like metagaming, I went over this last week, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah, there's an entity inside the dagger.
Yeah. I know that, but you bargained with it. Can I see that? Will you let me hold the dagger?
No. But I do lift up my cloak to where he can see the dagger on my side.
And with this, Arian, who has been sitting like across from you guys, is like, oh, that is beautiful. Looks elven.
Yeeks, I don't like this.
There's nothing to worry about. Like I said, it's been dealt with.
What happened? Can you please tell me? Because I don't want another blade in me, and I don't want more arrows in me. You've injured me many times, Yeeks. I think you owe me an explanation as to why. I'm not gonna do that again.
The first time I thought you were a bad guy kidnapping Ren.
Second time, you just wanted to non-fatally wound me, and you ripped my legs off.
Yeah, because you were possessed or controlled by that other demon. So that's fair. He can't.
But
Really blame
I got
you.
to use Hellish Rebuke, which was pretty cool.
It
Moving
was. But trust me when I say it's been dealt with. It won't happen again to you or anybody else
I'm taking your word for this, and if something
that we're
happens,
friends with.
And Arian looks at you and goes, does this include me?
As long as you're an ally.
With that, he kind of smiles. He goes, you don't like me, do you?
Well, you were pretty shitty to me when you first met me. First impressions go a long way.
And I understand that. But you must understand this. We cannot let anyone know that we are followers of Illustre. To do that would bring certain death upon my family, upon our servants, upon any gestures at the three sleeping drow, upon my friends. I have taken you into my confidence, at great risk to myself and to my family.
And that's fine. I don't really care who you follow or pray to. I'm here with my group. Anything I do will be in my group's best interest. Usually.
They're like family.
More like business partners.
Ah, now that I respect. You don't lie. You don't make things out to be more than they seem. What about you, Giant? Where do you stand with this group?
they're not my first. Hopefully, they'll be my last. That's all I can say.
You've seen great pain.
Who hasn't?
So have we. And I understand the need to be surrounded by people. No man is an island. I need you guys to do a perception check.
You just cut out.
I need you guys to do a perception check. Not all of you, Flinardius, just the ones who are on watch.
So me and Stoll.
Sleepy.
Yeah.
I did good. Oh my god! I finally didn't get garbage.
You hear movement coming from one of the tunnels that are off to the side. I'm going to bring up a map so you guys can kind of see.
I'd like to roll stealth now.
All right.
You realize? Wait, are you wearing heavy armor?
Sure fucking am, baby. I don't give a fuck.
You're aware you get disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Poof, I'm gone. Right, what the fuck? What you saw? Teach me.
Hold on. Let me get things.
I'm just gonna follow Eeks around like.
All right.
Chainmail rattling.
So I'm going to set some things up here. I'm going to bring everybody into.
Everybody now. Plus 11. Jesus Christ, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Dexterity and plus I double my proficiency bonus.
What the fuck?
Rogue, man.
You just disappear, man. That's crazy. You're like fog or something.
Fade into the darkness.
Fade into the darkness. All right, where are the rest of you guys? Let's get Stole. Ram. Lika. Flo. Eats. Let's get you guys added to this map.
And then we'll all roll initiative.
Just because there's a map doesn't mean.
Initiative! Initiative!
Hold on, people. Good Lord.
It's just a joke, man. It's just a joke.
You guys are like vicious. You want to kill everything.
Attack mode! It's been too long.
Duh.
All right, I'm going to share this map so that everybody can kind of see where you guys are.
And then we'll all roll initiative.
These are the 3 drow sleeping over here in the corner. Oops. Wow, I didn't know I could do that. That's awesome. If I double click on your icon, it opens your character sheet. I didn't know that happened. That was an accident.
Oh, I can open up theirs.
Flenardius, Ren, and Lika, you guys can put yourselves wherever you think you would be sleeping at this point. You can't sleep there, Scott. That's like a column. You're sleeping in the middle of a wall.
Lika's away from like everybody else, like on the opposite side.
Okay.
She's her antisocial self as usual.
As usual, of course. Let me see if I can figure out how to draw on this thing again. Drawing. There we go. The sound is coming from this direction. Stole. Do you see that line I just put on the map?
No.
Yep.
Right over here. That way.
Oh, I see it.
Oh yeah. It was very, very hidden.
I'm still figuring this out, guys.
All right, so I'm going to assume that I'm stealth because I really can't tell, and I'm going to walk right over here. I'm going to like motion to Arian and Eeks to follow along as if I'm the sneaky one. Come on, guys, gotta come over here. I think I heard something.
Aaron comes to this area. What are you doing, Eeks?
Moving down there.
Moving down that way?
Yeah.
You hear this like scraping on the walls coming from around the corner. You can't quite see what's going on, but you hear some scraping.
It's the rats.
Gary's like, God damn it, you fucking
Son of a
spoiled it.
bitch, my God.
What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna look over. I'm gonna look over to Arian and ask. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what lives down here? Do you know anything that could be there?"
There are a myriad of creatures that live in the Underdark. It could be anything.
Is there anything that could probably take a man like me down?
I don't know. I've never seen a man like you.
Well, that is your answer. I'm gonna move in further. I'm gonna motion for him to follow, and I'm gonna look back. Do I know where Eeks is?
You saw him move over in that direction. Are you hidden, Eeks?
I rolled a 24 stealth.
Yeah,
Tell me.
You can't see him. The glow from the rocks that he's hiding behind are kind of disturbing you. You know, they're blocking your view.
Yeah. All right, then I'm just gonna. Can I assume I'm just gonna motion to where like that general direction because he couldn't have gone that far unless he's right behind me, which is probably possible because he's the sneakiest man ever to live. I'm gonna motion to him to watch. I'm gonna move up to here
Okay.
and look around the corner, like really sneakily.
All right. Let me see something here. Where is he in the? All right. So, Arion, is going to kind of move into this position, and he draws his swords. You just hear the shh of his blades. He looks at you, kind of motions with his head to go on in.
All right, I'm gonna pull out my maul. I'm gonna throw up my shield and whisper out, "Protect," and then I'm gonna move in.
All right. The shield immediately jumps out and begins to kind of hover to your side. As you move in, you start hearing this, and out of the darkness, because you can't see very well, suddenly this shape emerges. It looks like, well, it kind of looks like this. As this flying octopus with membranes between its tentacles begins to come toward you. It's got these. Let me see if I can find a picture.
There's a picture right there.
Yeah, but a larger one. So
Oh, fair.
It looks like this.
Arian, what is that?
And he yells out, "Dark mantles!" And he starts yelling to his compatriots, "Wake! Wake! Everyone, awake!"
Can I cast Shield of Faith before initiative?
Say what?
Can I cast Shield of Faith before initiative?
Yes.
Were we sleep long enough to get our stuff back? Short rest, long rest.
No.
Bum, bum, bum.
As 4 more begin to move, and at this, Eeks, you begin hearing scraping and this coming from behind you.
Oh, god damn it.
As there are 2 more coming in from this direction. And as you spin around, you see one of the creatures drops here onto... No, I'm grabbing the wrong guy. This is the one I want. Onto one of the drow as he screams, and it just kind of envelops his head as it drops down on top of him. The other 2 drow shake awake, and they begin to move in that direction. What are the rest of you doing? Flanardius, Ren, and Lika, you hear Arian scream out, and it kind of wakes you up for a moment, and you start looking around. And Flanardius, you see this thing just drop onto one of the drow soldiers, and it envelops him, and you hear him start screaming.
Gross.
What are the 3 of you doing?
So everybody's awake now, right?
Everybody's awake. Go ahead and roll initiative, Flanardius, Ren, and Lika. And we're going to get into this. Drow Warrior 1. He is going to... Let me see which one he is. He is actually beside the drow that was attacked. You see him pull his weapon as he targets the first enemy. Let's see here. Let me activate targeting. He's going to attack this one. He kind of charges forward with his short sword. He gets a multi-attack, so he's going to make his first attack, and the creature just kind of ducks under it as he comes across with the blade. He takes a second attack, and he misses again as the creature lets go and flies up into the air, attaching itself to the ceiling above. And that's going to end his turn. Oh, as he runs over and begins looking at his friend whose face has been kind of chewed on a little bit. He's screaming and holding trying to hold his cheek together from where this creature attacked him.
Just a heads up, he was targeting Drow Elite Warrior 2.
Oh, was he targeting? Oh yeah.
I don't see the thing.
All right, then we're gonna redo it. I'm gonna see if I can get it to attack. Okay, let's give him another shot at this then.
Take 2.
Yeah, hold on. Let me untarget these. I'm glad you caught that. So I didn't see that. We're gonna give him another shot. So it's still on the guy. He's gonna roll. He does hit with that one. Damn. And he's got poison blades. As he cuts into the creature begins to scream and tries to back away, kind of taking flight a little bit and scurrying up the wall. He's going to make his second attack. But this one misses as the creature kind of darts really quickly out of the way. You see it kind of like using its tentacles to crawl along the wall. That's going to take us then to Drow Warrior number 2, who is... he's just kind of looking at his face. He's scrambling. I keep grabbing the wrong one. So frustrating. So the Dark Mantle is now like in this area. The third Drow is going to move this way to try and defend his friend. Flenardius, what are you doing?
So Dark Mantle 1 is kind of up in the air, or going towards the
Yeah, it's kind of attached to the wall. He's about 10 feet up.
Okay, I'm gonna attack him with my crossbow.
Okay. That's good. 21. That's a hit.
Did you target?
Yeah, he did. You let the crossbow go, and the bolt just goes straight between two sets of eyes on the creature, pinning it to the wall. It kind of screams out for a moment, and its arms begin to flail, and then it just kind of hangs there dead. Does that complete your turn?
Wow, that was easy. Yeah, I'm gonna sit tight.
Okay. Lika, you are next in the lineup. What are you doing?
Boy,
From where you're standing, you can see Ren, you can see Flenardius, you see this creature bolted to the wall, and you see one of the drows trying to help the other. You can see Eeks from your perspective, as he's like turning around and looking at something in the tunnel behind him.
would I know if this creature is a fiend or not?
You don't know anything about these creatures.
Okay.
You're not very familiar with the Underdark at all.
I'm going to cast, let's see, Ray of Frost at the one on the wall above the drow. The other drow.
That one's dead.
Oh, that one's dead? Okay.
Yes.
Then I guess I'll move this direction. Let's see if I can move to like right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I'll see what Eeks is seeing.
Yes, and you see these two, they're just floating and moving in your direction. They're coming pretty quickly. They're not coming towards you, they're kind of zooming in on Eeks.
Okay. I'm going to focus on this one, and I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at it.
Okay. It's 21, that's a hit.
Oh, wait.
You hit it again.
Sorry. And then I do attack, and I got confused. Sorry. There we go.
So you hit it with a blast of cold energy, and you see the frost appear on its body as it begins to shriek out. It stops moving toward Eeks and begins flailing its tentacles for a moment. Then it looks at you and it opens up and begins to move in your direction.
Attack of opportunity.
Not really, because he's not. Yeah, that doesn't work. Dark Mantle 1 is dead, so we can take him right off of there. We're going to go into Dark Mantle 10. It's kind of stuck here in the back, so he's trying to work his way around as these things are beginning to float down this cave towards you, Stoll. We're just going to jump right over to 11. Dark Mantle 2 is right in... Oh, no. Hold on. Dark Mantle 2 appears coming out of the cave entrance here, taking to the air, kind of getting up above and zeroing in on a target. It's going to attack Elite Warrior 3. As it comes down, he's able to duck under it and kind of brush it aside with the side of its blade. The creature swoops down and begins moving in your direction now, Lenardius, as it's looking for easier prey.
Wow. Way to insult your group.
Yeah. Well.
I didn't. He's looking for it. This one's obviously gotten away from him. I'm not insulting anyone. Suddenly you see another one appearing out of this area here as it moves its way in. And he can't get very far. Dark Mantle 4. Dark Mantle 4 is going to target you, Stoll.
Good luck.
As it opens up and begins to come down on you, trying to crush you. Going to make an attack. But this shield kind of pops right in between you two, and you see it wrap its tentacles around the shield. The shield kind of moves towards you for a moment, but it holds steady. But it's between you and the creature. Dark Mantle 5. There it is, Dark Mantle 5. He's going to come at you, Eeks, and he's just, you see it swoop in like a bat, and it just kind of spreads open, seeing this mouth in the center that's like a large beak, very similar to like an octopus or a squid. It's going to move toward you. And so it is able to wrap around you as it comes in, doing 9 points of damage as this creature envelops you as it comes toward you. And it begins biting and crushing into you.
What did it roll?
It rolled a 23 to attack, and it got a 9 for damage. Dark Mantle 6 becomes visible as it swoops into this area. Dark Mantle 7 comes in, and it kind of scurries along the wall and then flies. It's going to try to take you in from the other side. Stoll.
My shield is busy, so I'd say, does my AC go to a 19?
Yes. And it's going to make an attack. And this one just envelops you as it comes. And you are wounded as you take 8 points of damage.
What type of damage was it?
It's bludgeoning damage.
Make that 5.
It kind of begins to crush you, kind of like constricting around you. And you should be... Oh, I forgot to affect you. You are blinded. So are you, Eeks. I'm sorry, I forgot to add that effect to you. Dark Mantle 8. That you have burned, Liga, or you had frozen, does the same, enveloping, opening its tentacles and moving into your direction. He's going to make an attack. Oh, he didn't target you, sorry. Boy, you got lucky. But you're able to duck out of the way as it kind of swoops past you, seeing Ren. And this whole time, they're making... Who's seen Pitch Black with Vin Diesel?
Oh, Riddick.
All right, you know the sound those creatures made, that echoing, high-pitched... That's kind of the sound you guys hear echoing off the walls as these creatures are moving in and swooping. It's almost like they're echolocating where they're going. Dark Mantle 9 is now making his first appearance as he's swooping in this way too. These creatures seem like they're very hungry, like they're really looking for food. Eeks, you are up. You've now been enveloped by this creature. And you're effectively blinded.
I guess I'll stab at it.
All right, I didn't mean to put it quite on top of you. I want to put it right here. You're going to use the blade?
Yeah.
All right.
So do I roll with disadvantage as I'm blind?
It's got you, so you really don't have you're not getting advantage or disadvantage. Okay, that's a hit. You slice into it. You hear the echo sound that it's making is really shrill. As you cut into it, it shivers and tries to pull away from you, and begins to release you as it's pulling back. What are you doing?
That's my turn. I don't know I can do anything else.
You're not going to run or get any distance?
Nope.
Okay. Ren, you see this creature kind of swoop past Lika, and it starts to turn and come toward you. It's not enveloping. It's almost like, you know how squid swims? It's doing that through the air.
Okay. I'm going to back up towards Flinardius and grab my bow and shoot an arrow with my regular longbow.
Okay. You got a target.
Hold on. It's control. There we go.
That's a hit. 23.
Okay, and then how do I make an attack again?
You made the attack. Now you need to roll for damage. It's on your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to when you roll for damage, there's like 1d8 plus 2 or like whatever the damage would be.
There we go. All right. And then as a bonus action, I would like to do Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
Which does so it'd be a 1d10. Which is which dice again?
It's right in the middle. It's
Yeah, it's not the pyramid
the top.
one.
So is it like the third one in, or so it's not a pyramid, but it looks like a pyramid?
A D12? It's the soccer ball. That was a
There you go.
D10.
Thanks. Yay. And I end my turn.
Gary.
I'm sorry, I was reading something. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm sorry. Refresh. What was that? Thanks for the distraction, Justin.
You're welcome.
Wow, Justin. So I use my longbow. Then I used Hail of Thorns when I damaged it with 1. And that's it.
Okay. So yeah, you release Hail of Thorns. The creature gets riddled, just and it takes a lot of damage. You see it start bleeding, and it kind of falls to the ground, and now it's trying to scurry over to a wall. It doesn't seem to be flying. It just seems to be more just like scurrying across the ground, leaving a trail of blood as it's now trying to hide over. It's like scurrying in that direction. It can't move yet because it's not its turn, but that's the direction it looks like it's going to head to. Stole. You have this creature that's just attacking you with its tentacles and trying to envelop your head. What are you doing?
I'd like to. I'm not going to use my maul. I'm actually going to punch it, and I'm going to use that as a weapon attack to cast Divine Smite.
Okay.
How do I roll an attack with just my fist?
I don't know. I've never done that before. Have you ever done it, Justin?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
How does he attack
just
with the bare fist and use Divine Smite?
His bare fist is 1d4.
No,
But-
like to roll to attack.
That's just a strength, I think.
I think it's just a straight roll. I think you can add your strength, but you don't get to add your proficiency bonus since you're not proficient with it.
Okay.
And then for damage, it's just a straight d4.
It doesn't matter. As you try to strike, the creature moves out of the way, and you kind of swing into open air.
So it's off of me now?
It is off of you. It's kind of like up above you, kind of unfurling again, as if it wants to come back in and attack. But as
I
it
did. Wait,
Go
I
ahead.
have another attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull out my maul once now that it's come off me, and I'm going to actually hit it.
All right. Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, why is it at disadvantage? I'm not blinded.
Yeah, you were, but hold on, you're not anymore. Let me take that off of you, and you can re-roll it. Ooh, I think that might delete you.
Oh.
Let me look at the effects. Let me delete it. There you go. I found it.
Okay, take 2.
Take 2. Don't fumble this time. Did you target?
I can't target.
Why?
Oh, I could do that. I could do that on the Okay, I didn't know I could do that on the map.
Yeah.
So roll again.
This time
Take
you
4.
actually hit it. Take 4. Roll for damage.
And I'm gonna be adding a first level Divine Smite to this.
Okay.
$18 points of damage.
Which one is that? That is Dark Mantle 7. Yeah, as you hit it, you hear bones break just as you crush through it, pinning it against the wall. As you hit it, it hits the wall, and then a rock kind of juts through it, and it's kind of pinned. You see its tentacles are reaching out toward you, and it's kind of fumbling and it's screaming. But you also see a trail of blood falling down the wall. Does that end your turn?
I end my turn. Wait. My Shield of Faith went away, so I'm going to recast that.
Okay.
Stop. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It won't let me untarget.
Hang on, I'll untarget it. And target you. Okay, go.
Thing.
I'll take care of it for you.
What a homie.
You see Arian come around the corner, and he does this cool jump into the air, hits this wall, comes across this way, blades in hand, as he targets this one and makes his first multi-attack, slicing into the creature.
That's a horrifying.
He hits it, and the creature just is immediately cut in half, and he lands on the ground behind it, preparing to charge at the other two. So this one is now dead. Get rid of it.
I have to top that kill.
Wait, doesn't he have 2 more attacks?
He does, but he doesn't have any more distance. So he's kind of just stuck where he is right now. But he's charging for, you see him start to run deeper into the tunnel. That's going to take us to the top of the round as Drow Elite Warrior 1 begins to run this way. And he sees the creatures coming in, and he's going to make his first attack against Dark Mantle 3. His first multi-attack is a hit. And you just see a slice into the creature. Those of you who can see him, not you, Stoll, but Eeks, you kind of look over as you see this drow just cut deep into the creature. Blood begins to spray. And he slices again as he just rends it in half, and the creature kind of falls to the side, killing this one. And he kind of gets himself into position to attack again. Drow Warrior number 2 charges this way, and he looks at you, Flanardius, and he's like, "Do not worry, half elf. I will protect you." And he jumps into the air, targeting this one. Making his first attack, scoring a hit. And he comes down. You see the blade sink deep into the head of the creature as it begins to spasm and falls right at your feet, Flanardius, and he kind of lands. He looks up at you and smiles, pulling the blade up again.
Well, thank you.
And he just cuts the creature right in half. Its arms kind of flail for a moment, and it falls dead. He stands up, and he kind of straightens himself, pulls his tunic down a little bit, looks at you. He's like, "It's a pleasure."
I'm going to flutter my eyelashes, say, "My hero."
He just kind of, you see him smile at you, and he turns to look at his friend who's fighting the other, the one that killed the first one at the top of the map there. And you see him take a stance like he's going to start running in that direction. And he goes another 15 feet to help his friend. Warrior 3 is still kind of holding his face and kind of looking around at what's going on. He's not really moving anywhere at this point. And that takes us to you, Flanardius.
All right. Feeling like I need to prove myself, I'm going to step over here. Take aim at Dark Mantle number 8. And fire off my crossbow once again.
All right. Now, Dark Mantle 8's on the ground, so we're going to consider him prone. So you're going to have to fire at disadvantage.
Okay.
That's a hit. Which one was that? That is Dark Mantle 8. Where's he at? He screams out, and you've kind of pinned one of his legs to the ground. So he's unable to move as he's kind of, you see the other legs are like flailing, trying to get away. But he's not able to move. His one leg is like stuck to the ground, and he's right behind you, Lika. Does that end your turn?
That ends my turn.
All right. What are you doing, Lika?
I am going to cast Firebolt at that Dark Mantle 8.
Okay. So you begin the incantation. The firebolt. What does your firebolt look like? Is it a traditional fireball, or is it like blue, green? What's the energy look like?
Oh,
It's purple.
It's pink.
oh heck no. No, it's definitely green.
It's green.
Probably like the same color as her eyes.
Okay. So as you see this green flame twirl around your hand and you fire it, the creature sees it at the last moment and it kind of does this enveloping roll, but it can't move. It can't move too far away, but it moves away just enough that the bolt hits the ground next to it, and it starts trying to scurry now toward the wall right above it. As it's trying to get up, but it's still pinned to the ground. It can't do much. Dark Mantle 10 begins to move in on Arian, and it's going to try and swoop and attack him. So let's see how he does. And he actually hits him as he begins to like crush in on him. He does 7 points of damage. Arian's kind of he's blocking it. He's got the shield up, but the arms are just like trying to batter him on the sides. You see him You see him kind of take some rib shots as he's trying to hold this creature off. Dark Mantle 11 scurries over the wall here for a moment and then jumps across. He's going to try and take you out, Stole, as he comes into attack.
Is my shield back?
Yes. Let's see. Damn it, I hate it when I do that. He targets you, Stole. But the shield kind of pops into place, and the creature just face plants right into it. It kind of stuns him a little bit. He's going to take. I'm going to give him 2 points of damage.
Oh,
Just from the impact, and you see it kind of hit the wall and then fall to the ground. And we're going to consider
dead.
him not dead, but he's just down to the ground. It's kind of looking around like it's confused for a moment, as it's just kind of laying there at your feet.
It's got a concussion.
And he's got a brain bruise.
Owie!
Let's see, Dark Mantle 2. Where is Dark Mantle 2? Oh, Dark Mantle 2 is. Where is it? I don't even see it on the board anymore. I thought that one was dead. It is. You go away. I don't know why it's still in. Dark Mantle 3. Why aren't these disappearing when I take them off? Sorry, guys, bear with me here just a moment.
To give life is to give freedom. They're their own people.
They're dead.
Only if they want to be.
No, they're dead. Dark Mantle 5. Eeks. He's going to kind of come at you again, and the claws are like just moving rapidly as it moves in to attack you. See how it does. Let's see how good you are. You duck under it as you hear this voice that you haven't heard in a little bit, just says duck, and you move under it instinctively. If the creature kind of goes past you, oops, grabbed the wrong one. As it swooped down, it's going to continue on in this direction, looking for something easier to eat. Dark Mantle 6 moves in on this drow and makes his attack. And that's a critical hit. And he does 14 points of damage to Drow Elite Warrior 1, who's trying to defend himself against it, but the creature's just cutting into him. Dark Mantle 7 is pinned to the wall here, Eeks, or Stole, in front of you. But you see it's trying to reach out to you, but its arms are falling just short. He can't
It
really
likes
do
me.
much else. He can't really do much else. 8 is where? 28, 6, 5. 8 is still on the ground pinned. He can't do much either. 9 is also going to move in on this drow and make an attack. This poor guy is just getting. But he's able to fend that to just kind of fend that one off. Eeks, we're at you now, son. What are you doing?
Okay, so 5 is running away from me.
Yeah, 5 kind of swooped past you, giving you an attack of opportunity as he's swooping down like this.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to let you have 2 attacks on him.
I was like, can I? Well, can I forego the attack of opportunity to get advantage of my next attack?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to run after him. How far up off the ground is he?
He's not very far off the ground. He's like 5 or 6 feet off the ground.
I'm going to.
That's pretty far for Eeks.
I'm going to jump up, land on him, and stab him in the back.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check to see if you land on him. And it's definitely land. You plant the landing, that's for sure. Roll to attack. That is a hit. 16, not bad. Yeah, you run forward, you jump up into the air, just landing and straddling this creature. As you begin slicing into it with the dagger, blood begins flying everywhere. It's hitting your face. It's on your, it's on your armor. The dagger is just in your mind. You hear it just, yes, more, as you're like digging into this creature. You hear it screaming out, and it begins flailing, and then it just falls dead on the ground. That's going to put you now here.
Told you I had to outdo asshole who wanted like wall run and kill. And then I'm going to take my.
Did I just take you away by accident? I did. I'm an idiot.
Be gone.
I took.
Oh,
you
so I got another turn after that. Okay. No, I'm going to take my bonus action to hide.
All right, I got to put you back where you were. We're going to make this like 12. All right. You're going to use your bonus action to hide?
Yeah.
Where are you going to hide?
I guess right.
All right. So you kind of duck in there. And that leads us to you, Ren.
Do I need to roll a stealth to hide?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's really watching you.
Alright, Ren's gonna go closer to Dark Mantle 8 and grab her quarterstaff instead of her bow and hit him.
Okay. That's a hit. You come up and you just how are you hitting it? Are you like hitting it with the end, or are you just bringing it down on top of
I'm
it?
just like bringing it down and like squishing it on his head.
Yeah, you bring it down and its skull just kind of caves in. And you took him out.
Woo.
Does that end your turn?
No, I'm also gonna grab my ink from my backpack and write on the wall, Rin was here, and then I'm gonna draw a picture of Stoll with the mustache.
All in 3 seconds.
Well, she begins it anyway.
Yeah.
Bob Rossi, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Stoll, what are you doing?
The one pinned on the ground. Would I get advantage on that attack since he's pinned on the ground?
He's not really pinned on the ground. He's pinned to the wall in front of you. Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
The one on the ground, like unconscious.
He's not unconscious. He's just kind of stunned, or he was when he initially hit the ground. But he's recovering. I can't give you advantage on that one. I can give you advantage on the one on the wall that's pinned. But
I guess I'll give him a good old
which one are you hitting?
the one that gives me advantage.
So you need to target Dark Mantle 7.
Did you say Bop?
Yeah, he did.
Bop.
He's part of Hanson.
Freaking
Yeah,
Hanson.
I was.
And I'm gonna be taking -5 to the attack, so I can give him a big old wallop right to the lips.
You do realize he's almost dead anyway, right?
Big old wallop to the lips.
Fine, wallop him.
Boom! Nat 20.
Yes, indeed. Please, Stoll, roll for damage and tell me in glorious detail how you kill this creature.
All right, so we're gonna get a +10. Boom! There's the 10. Hold on, I'm dumb. Oh God, yes! Look at all those dice. Oh, I fucking he's pinned to the wall, and I just give myself a good 360 and just fucking kagoosh, and it's just.
And as the head of the maul comes down on it, its face just kind of caves in, and it explodes against the wall.
And follow up, I got more. I get another attack because it was a critical and he died. So let's fucking double tap on that one. I'm not gonna do that swing. Fuck it, I'm gonna do another swing. I'm going crazy.
On the same.
No, on the second one, on Mantle 7.
Okay. Yes, that's the one you just killed.
Or Mantle 11. I'm dyslexic.
All right, I'm going to get 7 off the board. All right, so as you hit it, you kind of just turn around and bring the hammer up over your head to bring it down. Let's see what you got.
Boop.
The creature sees it coming and just scoots right out of the way.
Okay, I do have one more attack.
You get 3 attacks?
I get 3 attacks because I get one as a bonus action whenever I land a critical or a
That's right.
or
That's right. You're right. Give me your bonus hit.
Alright, baby, dodge this one. Bop! And I'm gonna cast second level Divine Smite. Hold on.
Okay, holding.
Bop! It's dead!
So as you bring the maul down, it hits the ground and kind of bounces up. You use that momentum to bring it back, strike it on the wall, causing it to bounce forward again, and you just kind of baseball bat swing it into the creature's head. As it was trying to take flight to get away from you, thinking it was going to escape, suddenly it's there, then not there. As it moves to your left and slams into the wall, your hammer or the maul head just buried into its head. You hear this sickening just as you hit it. You pull the hammer back or the maul back, and it kind of suctions out of the way as Arian, who's still fighting with the creature in front of him, kind of looks over at it, looks at you, gives you kind of a smile and a nod, and turns his attention back to the one that he's fighting. And he's
I'd like to use my movement to scoot up with him, and then he could do his thing.
All right, so he's going to take his multi-attack against the one that's attacking him. And he's going to use his scimitar. And he hits it. And the blade just digs in. As you see this look of glee on his face as he begins to hack into this creature, he's going to make his second attack, which is also a hit. And he just begins just slicing it apart as he's cutting into it. The legs are flying every which way. Blood's starting to splatter on him as he's digging into it. And once he's done, he stands up. He's kind of breathing a little heavy, and he looks at you and Now that's how you kill a dark man. And he begins to bend down over it and starts carving some of the meat off of it. And that takes us to Drow Warrior 1, who's now fighting 2 of them. He's going to target the first one.
Is this what we've been eating all night?
Don't know. And that's a hit. And the blade slices deep into the creature. Takes a second attack and just completely misses. The creature kind of jumps up above him. Drow Elite Warrior 2 is going to move up this way. He kind of jumps up on this blue rock and is going to attempt to come down on this one. That's a hit, causing heavy damage. Second attack is a hit. And he just cuts it in half as he comes down on the creature. So this one, Dark Mantle 9, is now dead. I got a lot of them to take away.
I'm running out of stuff to kill.
We have 11, 10, and 6 are left. Everything else is gone.
Can you send in like 20 more?
Elite Warrior 3, he just kind of sits down on the ground here, kind of trying to put the pieces of flesh back together. He's looking around, and he's just kind of casually looking around at what's going on. He knows his friends have things under control, but he's just sitting there trying to fix his face a little bit. What are you doing, Flenardius?
Let's see. Everybody's health is in decent condition. Going to take a little jog to about right here and target 6 and shoot with crossbow once again.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to use a charge of Bardic Inspiration to add Psychic Blades.
Okay. So you fire at the creature and you hear it scream out as the bolt hits it. It kind of shivers, begins to look around for a moment as if something's terrorizing it, and you don't know if it's from the bolt that it dies or if it's from sheer fright. But the creature kind of just stiffens up for a moment and hits the ground dead, falling at the Drow's feet. The Drow kind of looks over at you and gives you a nod and begins to bend down and start cutting some of the meat off of the creature and hacking it apart. The other 2 you see are starting to move in that direction as well, as they're starting to cut some of the meat off of the creature, skinning them down, and that sort of thing.
Oh god, it is that.
And that's going to take us now to you, Lika.
Are they all dead?
There are 2 left. No, actually, I'm sorry. There's only 1 left, and that's the one that Arion and no, they are all dead. I'm sorry, my bad. They're all dead.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, I don't see any
Yeah,
left to
they're
kill.
all dead. So the Drow that are around you, they're all just starting to set to work, and we're now out of initiative. As they're starting to cut the meat off of the creatures, they're laying out strips. Some of them are taking out some kind of a like a seasoning type stuff and sprinkling it on it. And as they do, the powder begins to like dry the meat. And Arian starts cutting his apart, and he's drying it. And as he does, he reaches into one of his pouches and pulls a piece of the meat out and begins chewing it. And after he's done, he stands up and goes, "Would you like some of this? Some of the spoils friend stole?"
What do I do with it?
Here, he takes a little pouch out and goes, "This is a seasoning, but it also sucks the moisture out. It allows what my sister calls unhydration of the meat. It does it almost instantly."
Huh. You want to do it for me? I haven't quite had flying angry
Come,
octopus.
Come look, I'll show you. And he begins like to teach you how to fillet the creature. The other drow are working at it too. The one that rescued you, Flo, comes up and he's got a off the one that you had killed. He had taken one of the spikes, one of the thorny ends of the tentacles, and he hands it to you. He goes, "Here, it's kind of a trophy. I took one."
Well, thank you. Is this one dried out too?
I'm sorry?
Can you dry this one out for me?
Oh, these don't really dry out. I'm going to make a kind of a brooch out of this one to hold my cloak in place. You can make one for you?
Oh yeah, that's actually what I was gonna do. I was just seeing what you were gonna do.
That's an interesting instrument. What is it called?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't given it a
Dragon.
name yet.
Is that a dragon on it?
Yes, it is. I'm gonna quickly play a tune for him and conjure up a hologram of one of those mantles.
You start to play, and the drow immediately like, no, shh, stop, and they all kind of crowd around you, and he actually pulls the pipe from your mouth. He's like, "You trying to get us all killed?"
I don't know whether I should laugh or be afraid. I'm sorry. I thought I would just demonstrate how this worked.
Arian approaches, and he's like, "Brothers, forgive him. They're new to the Underdark." He looks at all of you and goes, "These are scavengers of the Underdark. We use them for food a lot. They're quite tasty, as you've experienced, but there is much worse here. We need to be quiet and stealthy."
Do they always hunt in packs like that?
Not usually. There was quite a few. I mean, I've seen them travel maybe 1, 2, 3 at a time. Never seen this many. What drew them here?
I would like to go up to the other drow guards, not
Mhm.
not Arwen or whatever the fuck his name is, asshole. What's that dripping off your swords?
This. We make it from the blood of a basilisk.
Is
Would
it
you like some?
poison?
Yes. Quite effective too. Be careful. And he hands you his blade. You take it, and there's as you hold it in your hand, there's a oily substance on the blade.
Do you just pour it on the blade, or like?
He shows you his sheath. He's like, "It is lined on the inside. We insert the blade, it coats it, and when we pull it out, it's like freshly oiling the blade. It can make you something like that." You're talking to the one whose face has been torn up.
Okay. This is Justin asking the DM. Could I telekinetically ask the dagger or can I speak with it just in my mind?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to ask it if it would not mind poison being on it.
And it hears you. It says, "Will you feed me more?
Oh yeah.
Bathe me. I cannot."
Okay. I'm going to ask the drow if he can show me how to make this poison.
All right, give me an
He's got
intelligence
a
check.
kit. Okay.
He pulls you to the side and he shows you. You've got a. Do you have any? Do you have a poison kit on you?
I do not.
Okay. He actually does, if there is such a thing. Let me look.
Oh yeah, there's poisoners kits.
Yeah. So he pulls it out and he starts showing you the mixture to make this particular brand of poison, and he offers the kit to you as a gift. I have many. Please take this.
Well, thank you.
You're
I'll
welcome.
take it.
Lord Arian told me how you met. You must forgive him. He had to keep the pretense up. He's a good man.
I don't doubt his intentions, but he was pretty rude.
It's our way. Well, the way of most drow.
Anyway, back to the poison.
Yes.
What does this poison do? Does it just? Does it?
It attacks the nerves of the creature. I've been studying poisons my entire life. You know how a basilisk turns you to stone. It is
Yes.
my belief that part of that begins in a transmutation of the nervous system. Have you ever seen someone killed by a basilisk?
No.
Well, it starts as a tightening of the muscles. I believe that it stops the brain's ability to communicate with the rest of the body. In doing so, I started experimenting with them. Not easy work, I can tell you that now. Not as easy to catch as you would think. I lost many friends in my first attempt, but I did figure out ways to trap it. I came up with this particular concoction for House Cantrell. We need everything we can get. Hold off other houses. It's effective, as you can see, and it moves quickly. One cut can cause a man to die in agony in minutes.
Sounds pretty potent.
I am a master.
Do you happen to have any spare notes or anything I could take away after we part ways to learn more about poison?
Come see me once we get to House de Cantrell,
I'll do that.
please.
Do you have a name?
My name is Alon.
Hold on, let me get my Word document. Hold on, let me get my Word document up. Okay, so A-L.
A-L-O-N. Alon.
Okay.
Dadgummit. Hang on. Okay.
Did you say he gave you some poison?
He gave you a poison kit.
Okay. I'll hold on to the kit for now. I can't make anything since I don't have any of the supplies needed.
Right. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, I was just curious about, poison. I've never used it.
It's quite effective. Some people say it brings shame, but I do not believe so.
I'm a goblin. I'm not huge in the way of honor, so I'll take what I can get.
And with that, he kind of chuckles, goes back to cutting the creature as he's making more jerky. Drow Elite Warrior number 1 sees Ren drawing on the wall, and he comes walking over and he's like, "Is that the giant?"
Yeah. Do you think it looks like him?
Oh, definitely, with that large, round, goofy-looking head. Good likeness. Good likeness. Is that a mustache? Is that a mustache you've drawn on him?
I don't want to talk about it. We're moving on. Let's go. We're running out of daylight underground.
He's got a. It looks like there's a little faint mustache on his face. Did you draw that on his face?
No.
Stop. This isn't funny. I don't like it. I'm drawing you next.
Drawing me.
I'm gonna yell for everybody to come over and look at this drawing and cast Mage Hand points down on it.
So
I'd like to
Flanari-
cast Hellish Rebuke at 10th level.
You can't. At this, Arian's like, okay. We have a long journey tomorrow. The rest of us need to sleep. I'm going to turn in. And he looks at Alon and says, Alon, you take the next watch. He goes off and goes to sleep. At this point, who's going to take watch number 2? You've taken watch 1. You need to get some sleep.
I'll take the second watch.
I guess I'll sleep.
All right. The rest of you all kind of go to sleep. Alon, he stands up. He kind of begins walking the perimeter of the central cave that you're in, kind of keeping an eye out on everything. Eventually, he goes over to one of the corners, pulls his blade out, and begins sharpening it with the wet stone. What are you doing, Lika?
I'm just sitting there, messing around in my journals.
What are you writing about?
I'm writing about the stones that they use and everything that we've seen in the caves, and I'm bringing out my other book, and I'm kind of like looking at that. I'm just kind of going back and forth, just randomly going over all the thoughts in my head.
As you guys are sitting there, after about 30 minutes or so of him sharpening his stone, he looks at you and goes, "You're a writer."
Oh, well, I keep notes on everything, at least. I don't know if I'd call that actually a writer.
May I see?
And yeah, and I'll hand him my journal with all my notes in it, not my actual book.
Okay. He takes it and he's kind of like, do you have any like drawings in there as well, like, or is it just notes?
Oh, she has drawings of different creatures she's come across. She's got drawings of lots of just like plants. She's got drawings of a lot. Some of it is actually like you could see where she turned to that page. It was like the first thing on the page. So it's a big drawing, and then as you flip through other pages, she's added drawings in as notes in the margins to go along with other notes she's made, and it's a very big hodgepodge of randomness. Some of the notes go with what's actually on the page. Some of them, it's like you can tell that she wrote it as she was hearing stuff going on in the background to remind herself about later, and so it really doesn't make any sense on the page. And some of the pages have the same note on them, like in different spots, because it's like she wrote it and then forgot she wrote it and wrote it again somewhere else.
He tries to be respectful and not once he sees what it is that he's looking at and that it's a journal, he tries not to read any of the information. He begins just more looking at the pictures. And as he's flipping through, he finds a picture of a bird. And he kind of points at it and goes, "What is this creature?"
It's a bird.
Bird.
Not seen one before.
Never seen one. Are those wings like a bat?
They are. They are. Um. A, they're kind of like a bat. They just have feathers instead of more feathers than a bat. I'm
Feathers.
trying to think of a good way to explain it, and it's just not coming to her.
Do you have feathers, like any feathers on your outfit at all?
I mean, she has a feather in her one of her little trinket bags. So she'll pull that out and show it to him.
It's covered in this.
It is.
Fascinating. Perhaps one day I will see one of these.
Perhaps so.
He looks over at Arian, who's now sleeping. He goes, he speaks of you. Often, in fact.
Oh? She just kind of just awkwardly sits there and starts writing more in her journal.
He sees kindred spirit in you. You're royalty, aren't you?
Oh, I know nothing about that.
Sure you don't.
Mhm.
If that's the way you wish to play it, the lady. Here, and he hands you back the feathers.
You can keep one if you like.
May I? Thank you. You've never been down here before, have you?
I have not.
Wait till you see the city. Beautiful.
I'm very curious to see it.
In my opinion, Nebzaransakar, the most beautiful of the Drows. And I've seen a few. It's ivory tower in the center. Something unique about it. If it only wasn't Loth. Look at that, he spits in the ground. Spider bitch. Anyway, what else are you writing? What's the other book?
Oh, it's just something I found in my travels that it's a puzzle within a puzzle. And
I
every
enjoy
time
puzzles.
What?
And he kind of holds a hand out.
I just like that super flat. What?
No, I didn't hear what he said, honestly. Like that was meta. I didn't hear what he said.
I enjoy puzzles.
Oh. She's like considering it, and then she hands it over reluctantly. I don't know. You might recognize something. I don't know.
He holds the book in his hand and goes, Ancient Draconic.
Yeah, I've taught myself most of the language, but this dialect is so much older than what I've learned, and it looks like the author put riddles in his own shorthand or her own shorthand in it, and it.
Zendra may be able to do with this. Or the matron mother herself,
That's what I've been told.
if she survived. Plague has been devastating. I lost my mate.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen someone boiled alive by their own blood?
I've seen many things in my lifetime.
Disgusting. Horrible. We must find the cure. Do you
I'm
think
sure you-
he can really help? He kind of motions with his head towards Stoll.
If he says he knows something to help, then I'm sure he's not lying.
I hope. Well, I must continue. We can't risk another dark mantle. Of course. I will leave you to your writing. And thank you for the feather.
You're welcome.
And with that, he gets up, he begins walking around. I need you to give me a perception check.
Dang it.
More of them coming out.
Yeah. Not too bad.
You see a slight glow, kind of like a spark in one of the caves. And then you see the spark again a little deeper, and then another spark. It's hard to see what it is because it's quite a ways away from you, and the cave's very dark, and it's outside of the range of your dark vision. If you hadn't seen the sparks, you wouldn't know what was happening. You wouldn't even know there was anything there.
Yeah, Leica is going to be extremely curious, and she's just going to kind of get up and cautiously start following those lights.
He sees you get up, and Alon, and he, what is it?
The lights up ahead.
Where?
This way. And I'm still moving forward, like curiously looking ahead, looking for more signs of it and following which way I've seen it go.
He goes with you, and you hear just a shh of his sword as it gets pulled out, and he starts walking beside you. Wait here. And he goes into the cave. You follow him to the extent of his dark vision. You still see some of the sparks on the ground further and further ahead. And then he's like, damn vermin! And you hear like a scurrying, and you hear his blade hit the ground, and there's like scurrying sounds, and he comes back out, and he's like, it's nothing, just one of these damn, and he throws on the ground, cranium rats. Puts the blade back into its sheath. They're everywhere down here.
Leica's gonna start poking at the rat. She's gonna start looking at it, trying to see how it functions, and yeah, starts making notes in her notebook.
All right. As you examine the rat, other than being able to see the brain through the skull, and there's a slight spark for just a moment as the creature kind of twitches, and then the spark dies out. Yeah. Other than that, it looks like a regular rat.
I want to ritual cast detect magic on it.
Okay. It's definitely a magical creature.
So what kind of magic?
It's not really a type of magic. Hang on, let me pull up. Let me see what I can tell you about it. Just a second. The cranium rat is immune to any effects that would sense its emotions or read its thoughts, as well as to all divination spells. So there really isn't a whole lot you can tell about it.
Okay.
It's a little larger than an ordinary rat, not a lot, not like a beast or anything, but there's nothing other than being able to see the brain. There's not anything really different about the physical appearance of the rat.
Leica's gonna sketch all this out and write it all down in her notebook and take all the notes about it.
All right. your watch continues. The rest of your watch is pretty uneventful, and it comes about time for third watch as he goes over and wakes the last of the Drow warriors up, or the other one. Who's out of your party? Who wants to take the next watch?
I'm not allowed to.
No, you're not. You need to sleep.
Is the last watch going to be about 4 hours long?
Yeah, about that.
Then I want to take a long rest, and can I recover any strength?
Yes, you can recover 1 point.
Yay!
How long was this last watch?
You guys, for those of you who have slept the first 2 watches, you've had enough time to have a long rest. I'll give you a long rest.
Okay, thank you. Flo will take watch if
Okay.
no one else wants it.
So the rest of you are sleeping. Flo, you wake up, and the drow that gave you the spike is taking the next watch as he's kind of circling the room again, keeping an eye on things. He pulls his blade out and starts practicing some moves with it. He's younger than the others. He's tall, thin, muscular. He's got long silver hair. His features are very sharp and angular. And the way he moves, it's almost like watching a dancer move, or a very experienced martial artist. Eventually, he stops. What are you doing while he's off doing his thing? What are you doing?
I was admiring his technique, and I'll compliment him and say you look very capable.
Thank you.
Ah.
I've been doing this since I was a child. Arion himself was actually my instructor.
Well, I would not want to face you in a battle.
That would be wise. That would be wise. But you carry yourself quite well, too. How long have you been traveling with these companions of yours?
We've been together for a little while. We've gone through many scrapes together, and okay, here we are. It hasn't been long, but I feel like I've been with these guys forever.
It's been long enough to cause us a bit of trouble.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's what it is. I'm sure you thought you were doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think we're on the same side now, so I think that's all that matters.
As long as your side helps our side, we're on the same side.
I can agree with that.
Is this your first time down here?
It is, yes. But I know a little bit about draw culture and the Underdark in general, and this is my first time actually foraying or traveling in the caves and whatnot. It's different.
As you're talking and you mentioned knowing something about drow culture, he kind of straightens up a little bit and crosses his arms and shakes his head, pushing his hair over his shoulder. He goes, "And just exactly what do you know about our culture? What do you think of us?"
Oh, I think you guys are. I think drow culture is very remarkable and artsy.
You are a fool. Drow culture is nothing but death and destruction.
Huh? To some, that's an
Betrayal
art.
and anarchy.
To some, battle and warfare is an art form. And a necessary type of art form.
Battle, yes, I will give you. But most of our culture is set on just betrayal. Do you know how I got to be one of the elite?
Please don't tell me you had to slay your brother.
My sister.
Oh, I'm gonna look a little embarrassed because I was just joking, but apparently it's true.
It was before we started following Illustre. Back when we still served law. The matron, she was hard, firm, strong believer. She was well on her way to becoming the high priestess. Her only rival was her daughter.
So is this the only way that the drow can forward themselves in society?
It is what Lord demands. Only the strong can survive. But Illustre, she's shown us a different way.
But in what way is that?
A way of beauty and life.
Dang it.
To love others. Help those who cannot help themselves. That's what our house tries to do now.
I take it that's different than the other drow households.
The drow live to conquer, to enslave. You see your friend there, the little green one.
Oh yes.
We would have made him work in the mines or clean our toilets. He would be considered a mongrel by the drow.
Yeah, that's
Less than an animal.
well. It to be honest, some places in our world are very similar. It's very fortunate that a lot of us are kind of our own misfits, and we get along with each other and we do good things together.
Interesting words. Misfits. In a lot of ways, that's what House de Cantrell is. We've taken in slaves of others who have been beaten, broken, battered. We brought them here to shelter, protect them.
I think that's a good thing that the strong strive to protect the weak.
It is the way of Illustre.
Will you spread your drow way if your house gets to the top?
We do not want to climb the ladders here. Our goal is to escape. Join the surface. There's no changing drow society. It's too strong. That is why we have been trying to find a way to walk on the surface. You see, drow are taught from the time we are children that the surface is just a scorched, barren wasteland. That the creatures there live only to hunt us down and kill us. That is what the drow believe of your races up there. We believe and we've been taught that it's a wasteland and that this is our paradise, and they believe that Lolith led us here. You know what I believe? I believe we were cursed to live here. I believe we were driven from up there. And I don't want my children to grow up in this dark, cold underbelly of the world. I want them to walk in the sunlight. I've read the books. I know what the world is like. The real world. Not what we're told. And I've been there. It has such beauty. And so many races.
Well, if you can't live up there through ordinary means, maybe you can through magic or possibly. I don't know if you know, but I'm a half elf. Are you guys open to breeding with other races?
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
the smite. Oh yeah.
Hey, I had to ask.
You just went right to that point, didn't you?
Breed. Like a fucking dog. I like it. I like it, Flo. You make me proud.
I like the way you think, half elf.
Well, I am not.
Even any better.
In some circles, the elves look down on me, and other circles, humans look down on me. But to me, it's the best of both worlds.
At House de Cantrell, you will be seen as an equal. Now tell me, my friend, and he leans in closer. What of the surface world? Are your women interested in other races?
Dark meat? Yes, yeah. There's a lot of open societies that, or you know,
So races mingle there and interbreed.
yeah. I'm half elf, half human.
Were you here, born as a drow, you know what would have happened to you? They would have killed you. And your whore of a mother. And even worse, your father. Our society is very matriarchal. The women rule. Did you know that about us?
I've gathered some of that from our adventures here.
In any other house, I would be less than nothing. But House de Cantrell, I have been allowed to rise. My station actually earns respect. Were I in any other house, the only males that would have any say about anything would be Arian. And perhaps Jahan, the matron's consort. The rest of us, just men, just males, lowly males. Most of us can't even look female in the eyes, getting a backhand.
Well, if we ever manage to go above ground again, I'm sure there's plenty of females that would be interested in, a drow. After all, I mean, when have you seen a goblin traveling with a bunch of misfits such as us?
To be honest, I've never met a group of misfits such as you.
That's my point.
He kind of looks over at the group as they're sleeping. You get the feeling Illustre has brought us together for a reason. Well, I'm going to get back to my patrol.
Same here. Is there anything we should be watching out for? I've never really done patrol before.
Everything. If it moves, breathes, walks, crawls, flies, wake us.
That sounds like a plan.
You take that side. I'll head over here. So you two split up. I need you to give me a perception check. You don't see much at first, and then eventually, as you're walking around, you come across a rock, and something. There's like a shine that catches your eye. You bend down and you take a look at it, and you pull the rock aside, and there's this amulet. It looks like it's made of some precious metal, but you're not quite sure what it is yet.
Okay. Can I pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick it up, and I think I will hold on to this and show Lika when she gets up. But can I examine it more? Do I know anything about this?
No. It's got some interesting shapes to it. You can't quite make out what it is.
Okay, I will just stash it.
Okay. The rest of your watch is pretty uneventful, and eventually everyone starts waking up in the next morning. The drow that are with you that have woken up, they begin like sprinkling a little bit of a liquid on the rocks that they had laid out to heat up. And as the rocks cool, they begin putting them back into their bags, rolling their bedding up, and getting ready to continue the travel. Arian stretches, comes over with some of the meat and offers it to anyone who wants some.
I'll stick my hand out and ask if he has any other. I don't know how to say this in drow speak, but condiments.
You're funny. You're quite funny. This is traveling food, my friend. Once we get to House de Cantrell, there will be food, condiments, and wine to make you happy.
I reluctantly take it. Thank him.
He hands it to you. He offers it to the rest of you. You should eat. It's going to be a long journey. Besides, you helped slay these creatures. Enjoy it.
I'll reluctantly take some.
I'm gonna ask everybody if they like seafood.
What about you, Stoll?
This isn't really seafood. This is more of air food flow. But I'll take some. It looks can't be worse than what I used to eat.
Lika?
I'll take a big old chomp out of it.
I take some.
All right. Ren?
I take some as well.
Okay. So you guys pack up, you begin journeying, and as you go in, the cavern starts opening a little bit. There's still this great chasm to one side, and after you've been on the road for a number of hours, your feet are starting to ache. It's not treacherous, but the ground is hard. This is just complete rock. There's no give to it. But eventually, you hear this familiar sounds of civilization as you begin coming around a corner. The cavern opens to this immense city, as large as any city you've ever seen on the surface world, in a huge cavern. In the center of the city, you see this ivory tower coming up, and there are it's really hard to make out from here, but there are shapes like carved in the side of the tower, and as it goes to the top, it kind of sprays out and up to this huge crystalline structure that's coming down from the ceiling. It's not really a structure, it's like a growth of the same crystals that you've seen scattered throughout the cavern, that they give off a little bit of blue light. This one is much larger, and it hangs over the city, kind of casting light out over everything. You see a lot of life in the distance as people are moving about the city, all drow. The ones that are not drow seem to be in subservient positions. And Arian at this point cautions you and says, at this point we must proceed cautiously. We know a back way into the city, and it'll lead us directly to House de Cantrell. Please, do not stray from the path that we lead you on. And with that, I need everyone to make a stealth.
Oh dear.
This isn't gonna go bad at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sneaky! 2. Can I take off my armor?
I'm gonna high five Ren, but you guys can't see it because we're so damn invisible.
You guys continue on kind of along this path that's skirting around the cavern, and you're still, probably a good 4 miles outside of the city proper, and you're up high on the cavern wall. So, and it's very difficult to see you guys, but as you begin to work your way around and coming into the city, there are patrols that are moving around. Stoll, you are just completely clanking as you're walking. And 3 soldiers kind of hear you off to the distance, and they start coming your way to investigate. As they start to come over you guys kind of duck down behind an area. A couple of the guards start to come over the top of this mound that you're hiding behind. And as they do, the 2 elite warriors that are with you kind of sneak up behind them and just slit their throats, tossing them to the ground. As the other guard attempts to run away, you see Arian run him down and just slam his sword into the guy's back as he hits the ground, pulling it out. And he turns around and looks at you, Ren, and he's like, "I told you, we have to be quiet."
I think you mean Stoll. Ren's stealthy.
Yeah,
like
Stoll.
me.
I'm sorry, Stoll. "I told you, we need to be quiet. You're going to get us all killed. Take those boots off."
I don't think it's the boots.
"And that breastplate."
Oh, fuck. Okay.
We just gonna need you to strip down completely naked.
I got it. I'm naked.
All right, so after a few minutes, you take it off. I need you to reduce your AC to minus your armor, and they take it and they wrap the breastplate up really tightly in some pelts that they've been carrying with them. And you see one of the other soldier, one of the elite, kind of throw it over his shoulder. He's like, "I'll take it from here," and he starts leading ahead of you guys. You work your way into the city, and they guide you around to past several streets and kind of sticking to the back alleys. Eventually, you come to this beautiful, beautiful fortress. It has spiders etched up the walls with webbing coming around, and as you approach it, Arian gets this look of pride on his face. "I present House de Cantrell. Welcome to my home." And with that, he leads you through the back area. There's a small door in the back that he gives a knock on that, and waits a few moments as kind of a eye hole slides open, closes, and it opens, and you're able to get in through this little back way into House de Cantrell. He leads you through the back kitchen area and out into this grand courtyard. The house and walls and everything are made out of just this black stone. It almost looks like it's wet, but when you touch it, it's dry. It's very beautiful. He leads you to these huge double doors up this stairway to these double doors, and he opens them. Going inside, there's this just beautiful open entryway, or this grand room that has 2 stairways that kind of goes up both sides, and they curve around to the top. And at the top, you see a beautiful drow woman standing in, and she's like, "Brother, you've returned." She comes down the stairs. Next to her is a creature that none of you have ever seen before. It's a tall, slender humanoid with a large round head. And tentacles that remind you all of the dark mantles kind of dangling down from its face. It has a beautiful robe on with a high collar, and he remains standing at the top of the stairs as this drow woman comes down, and she gives her brother a hug, and he turns and he says, "May I present? I'm sorry. What do you call yourselves?"
We don't have a team name currently.
We've been tossing a few around, but we don't have any yet.
We're acquaintances by force, if you would.
Meet the Misfits. Misfits, my sister, Zender de Cantrell. Priestess.
Hiya.
And he looks at you for a moment, Stoll, and you just kind of see him, his face kind of gets stern for a moment.
Roll persuasion.
Priestess of Illustre. And she steps forward and extends her hand to you, Lika.
I curtsy. Not too low, just with respect.
She just keeps her hand out there.
I take her hand.
She closes her hand around yours for a moment. And she closes her eyes. She opens them. You must be Lika.
I am.
My brother has sent word of you. You're just as beautiful as he said. Then she turns and looks at you, Ren. And you are?
Oh, I'm Rin. Nice to meet you. Like it, see as well.
Please. We don't stand on celebration here. Do we, brother? And she kind of gives him this look, and he's like, Sister, he's so loud and boisterous. It is fine. You, Goliath, come here.
Okay. And I walk over.
Buck naked.
Yeah, can I have my clothes? I really don't feel right standing in front of her with just my loins on.
Yes, please. Give him his arm. Brother, give him his arm. Sister, he almost gave us away. I had to kill 3 guards outside of town.
That's one less than 2.
What?
Nothing. Can I please have my clothes now?
With that, she kind of looks at you and she goes, I guess what they say about Goliath is true.
What do they say about Goliath?
75.
Exactly, 75.
Malik is just smirking, standing there trying to like cover it, but yeah.
The drow comes over and gives you your armor back, and she turns to you, Flenardius, and she goes, "Thank you, half-breed. Your name?"
I am a Flenardius Flipstep, my lady.
Your bard.
Yes, my lady.
You must perform for us sometime.
I don't know if my performances are would be appropriate for this court. I'm more of a jester.
Perhaps that will help liven Mother's spirits. And you! She steps up toward you, Eeks. Kind of bends down a little bit. Brother has written of you as well. She looks you up and down. He says you're quite capable.
I am.
That is good. Fear, we may need your help. Which of you is the healer?
I think it was the one that just disconnected.
I think that would refer to me.
No, okay, use you. Brand disconnected.
Come. And she turns and leads up leads you guys up the stairway. As you get to the top of the stairs, she takes you off to the right, going down the hallway to this. You see this large door at the end of the hall. You walk to it, and she opens it. Walking with you guys is the creature that has remained at the top of the stairs, and he's just kind of hanging at the end of the procession as you guys are walking down the hall. He's following behind you. He's got his fingertips are always together, and his fingers are kind of tapping as he's walking behind you. You get to the end of the hallway, and it opens up to this large bedroom. And laying in the bed in the center, in this beautiful double bed, you see this older, beautiful, not older as in like she doesn't look old, she still looks young, but you see this beautiful drow woman. Her silver hair is straight into the side, but her face right now is just riddled with blisters. She's kind of very fevered and rocking back and forth. Next to her, you see a male drow dressed in leathers, just a black leather outfit with a scimitar at his side, and he's kind of watching over her, holding her hand and speaking to her as you walk into the room. You can't make out what he's saying. He sees you guys enter, and he gets up, walks over towards Sandra, and goes, "Are these the strangers that we were told of?" And she replies, she's like, "Yes, these are they. The giant claims he can help Mother." "Well, quickly, come. And he goes over and he grabs you by the arm, Stoll, not firmly, but not gently either, as he's pulling you and leading you over to the bed. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna walk over with him. I'm gonna ask him to step away for a minute. I'm gonna lean down and I'm just gonna grab her. I'm gonna reach out my hand, like very gingerly, if I may.
As you reach out, you can feel the heat radiating off her body before you even touch it. You feel the fever.
May I just have your hand?
She's delirious. She doesn't even realize you're there.
I'm gonna look back at Arian and the group and just say, I could probably fix this. And I'm gonna like very, very slowly put my hand on her forehead and then use lay on hands.
What exactly does lay on hands do? Let's take a look.
Expend 5 points from your pool of healing to cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. You can cure multiple diseases to neutralize multiple poisons with a single use of lay on hands, expending hit points separately for each one.
So
wow, Stoll sounds smart.
As the rest of you guys are watching, you see Stoll reach out and his hand begins to glow. You see this gold light extending off of it, and as he touches her, she breathes in very deeply, just and her body kind of stiffens for a moment. And Stoll, as you're touching her, you see the fever begin to reside. You feel it. You feel her start to cool. The blisters begin to relax. And after a few moments, she begins to blink, and she's looking around the room as if she's just seeing you all for the first time. And she looks up at you, Stoll. Who the hell are you?
This is the part where I step back and apologize. I'm sorry about that awkward scene right there, but
and she gets up out of the bed, and you see her in all of her glory. Let me see if I can find a good picture of her. Not nude. Not that kind of
And all
no, 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 no,
God.
no, 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 no.
This is quickly turning into D&D After Dark.
Poor choice in words on my part.
Phrasing.
Back
That's
off
my
me,
job.
bro. Back off me, bro. I just want to see if I can find an image of her so you can kind of see what she looks like. This is
Damn.
her. She's got this glow of energy around her, and it kind of just like, who saw Green Lantern?
Not me.
I think like three
All right.
waste of time.
You know how his suit had like the energy that was like constantly moving through it. That's kind of how her dress is. It's like in my imagination, it's kind of like this is all energy that's just like kind of rippling through her hair, through her clothes, and she looks at Arian and she goes, "We must use him to help the others. Begin assembling them. How many can you heal?"
My limit is 5 a day.
Perhaps that will be enough. Are you willing to help?
Without a doubt.
Begin with the children. Arian kind of bows and he's like, "Yes, mother, it will be done right away. Come with me, sir."
Of course.
And he leads you out of the room.
And Stoll quickly becomes a cleric.
Hero!
Who's going with him?
I'll just be alone. It's okay.
All right.
I'm
She
sticking
turns.
around the queen.
She turns to the rest of you. "I am Matron Nwala. And you are?"
I'm going to step up. I'm Eeks Snatchington.
She looks at Flanardius.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm Flanardi's Flipstep, and I bow.
Her eyes turn to you, Lika.
Lika Anastasia. And I do a polite curtsy.
Did Ren?
Rin's, she wasn't feeling well, so she left.
Okay, that's fine. But she acknowledges Ren being there as well. She walks up to you, Lika. So, you're here to help us.
If we can.
And you are the ones who stopped our deliveries.
We thought that the children were being murdered.
That is understandable. Come, walk with me.
I nod and follow her.
And as she does, the gentleman that was at her side kind of comes over to where Eeks and Flanardius are, and he kind of stands, with you guys in a general way, where he's just looking at you, and you get the impression you need to stay where you're at. She leads you, Lika, over to a balcony, and you guys step out on it, and it kind of overlooks the courtyard. Has my son told you much about it?
He has, yes.
This look like him. He's such a child sometimes. So you know we're not typical drow.
I do. And I know how important it is to keep your secret, so I won't say anything.
And the men?
They won't say anything either. They don't know all of it, only some of it.
For years now, I've done my best to keep my house safe. But I fear that's about to end. There are several houses eyeing us. I fear they're going to make a move at any moment. I must get my people out of here. We must be able to walk in the daylight.
I gave your son a bottle that I had come across. It's supposed to protect skin from the sunlight. It protects all of us from the sunlight so that we don't burn. It should work for your people as well.
I have never walked in the daylight. Never walked on the surface. I've sent my son several times. He's told me it's a beautiful place.
It is.
Did he tell you the history of our family?
Some of it, I think.
How the assassination of my daughter?
Yes.
Did he tell you who assassinated?
No, he didn't.
He's a good boy. Total candidacy. Is that the correct word? Is that even a real word? Oh.
I don't think so.
She looks at you and says, truth between us. She was my rival. Did what any good servant of Lolith would do. I waited till she wasn't ready, wasn't prepared. I slit her throat. My own child.
Why would you do that?
Because I wanted to be High Priestess. And I thought that's what Lolith wanted. Could not live with myself. I almost threw myself from this very balcony. I'm not like the others. I loved her. I loved them all. And that's when she came to. Showed me a different way. Showed me that there wasn't anything wrong with me. That I didn't need to be ashamed. Yes, killing my daughter was wrong. The way of the drow is wrong. The way of that bitch spider queen is wrong.
Anyone can be lied to and deceived.
Instead of beating our slaves, Lystri told us to free them. We did. But I fear that it is known.
I'm gonna grab my book out and be like, I heard that you might be able to read this. Apparently, there's something in here that mentions daywalkers. It might help you and your people. I'm gonna show it to her.
She takes the book. Ah. Ancient Draconic. I've not seen this in many years. Forgotten most of it. But I believe I could translate some of it. May I hold this?
Yes, however, I will need it back. It's I feel it's my responsibility to keep that book safe.
And for a moment, she looks like she's in pain.
Are you okay?
But if I'm hungry, no, I believe I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, Lika
And
backs
with that,
away.
she leans over the balcony and just hurls. Some of the people below, some of it hits them, and then they kind of look up. They see who it is, and so they're kind of forgiving. But after a few moments, she's able to compose herself. She holds her stomach. She looks in the room and she goes, "I believe that Jahan has given me a child."
Who
It
has?
was pregnant pukes.
And with that, she kind of rubs her stomach. Come, let us eat. We can see how your friend is doing with healing.
Lika follows her.
She comes back out into the group. She looks at you, Eeks, and Flanardius. I'm sorry, I did not mean to be rude. Some things are hard to break, and we are a matriarchal society. It's my nature to speak to the women first. Will you join us for dinner?
Absolutely.
I would be delighted.
It will be our honor. And she leads you to the door, and as you guys get to the door, we're going to switch over to Stoll. Stoll, Arian is leading you down to an infirmary where you come in and you see there are a lot of infected drow. You see children who are just crying and moaning and like just writhing in the beds as it looks like the blood under their skin is just boiling. As you approach the first child, you feel the fever. You lay your hands on him, and it takes a moment to take effect, but eventually the boiling begins to recede, and he opens his eyes and looks at you for the first time. Just this amazement and wonder. And as you do this, the other drow start crowding around you. Me, next, me, and they start pushing their way toward you. What are you doing?
None of these are in. I want the ones that are in the worst condition first.
And Arian begins pushing them back, and a couple of the guards that had traveled with you begin pushing them back. They consult with the doctor and or the healer, the person that's been trying to work with them, and she brings in. You've already healed 2. You can do what, 3 more?
Yeah.
She brings in a baby and a young woman who her skin is starting to crack open, and you can see the blood like burning her skin as it leaks out from the tears. And she's just screaming in pain. The baby's not screaming as much, but you can see it's almost lifeless. And there's an old woman. And as they bring the old woman in, her eyes, like she's got blood coming down, almost like tears. And she looks at you and she's like, don't worry about an old woman like me. Heal the others. And she kind of falls into your chest a little bit.
It would appear that the ones who can stand can most likely stand tomorrow. So you live to see another day, just as all of you will. And I heal the 3.
You heal all 3 of them. The woman who has the blood running down her skin, she begins to just cry as the pain leaves her body, and she reaches over and she grabs the baby and cradles it in her arms. She just looks up at you and she says, "Thank you. Thank you so much." And as she turns to walk away, suddenly alarms start sounding out. Horns begin to sound at the gates. Arian immediately turns to the other two men at his side, grabs his sword, and begins charging out of the infirmary. As he does, the ground is shaking with a rhythm of just. He runs up. There's a set of stairs that kind of lead up the wall to the front of the courtyard. What are you doing?
I'll follow.
All right, so you run up, and as you come up, you see outside of the gates is a large drow army with a house flag kind of scattered throughout the forces, just kind of held up on poles. You see several spider riders in the front, and you see a group of mages approach the front of the line as fireballs begin being hurled at the gates, and the gates begin to shake from the attack. You see a drow matron off in the distance, probably 130 troops between her, like lines of troops between her and you, as this immense army begins to attack the home. Arian starts rallying the forces, screaming, "We are attacked! We are being besieged! Someone protect the matron!" And they start spreading out. Soldiers begin preparing for the attack. And the matron mother that you see kind of stands and yells out, "Nwala! Lolith has told me that you now serve Elistre. It is time for us to become the third house of Nebzaran Khazar." And with that, the attack begins, and we're going to end it for tonight.
Ah! The damn cliffhangers every time. Fucking A!
That still has like 5 HP left.
Like, well, I guess it's over because something cool's happening.
Yeah, when I heard that the army was coming, I was like, "Yeah, this is where we're gonna end it for the
Well,
night."
it's midnight
Got to.
and good night.
Yep, it's midnight. I think this was a good session. I think we had a lot of fun. Scott, are we still rolling?
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for joining in. We want to start ending these on a proper note. Everybody say goodbye.
Ah!
Bye.
But seriously, thank you for joining us. Please check us out on patreon.com/drop and roll. That's ROLE, not ROLL. To support the show, in order for us to continue doing this, we need equipment to improve the show. And in order to get the equipment, we need the support of fans. So if you like the show, you want it to keep going, please check us out. Donate, become patrons. We promise we'll make it worth your while. And again, thank you for joining us. Okay, Scott, you can kill it.
Kill it to death.
We're all dead next week.